With your permission. This week's Parasha, Tazria-Metzora. And the subject is Tzarat. Comes the Gemara and tells us that it says in the Torah there are 4 kinds of Tzarat, of the sickness, the white spots that appear on a person's body. They used to go to the Kohen and show it to him. There's a lot of laws, halachot about it. But in general, those spots have white hair inside. So that's a sickness that person is considered dead. Metzora chashuv kemet, says the Gemara. What is dead? Says the Gemara, I tell you what it is. Somebody touches him, he becomes not pure also. The Gemara tells us people used to stay away from those people. This is 100 feet, 200 feet. It says, you can get this sickness from him. Stay away from him. He used to walk on the street. Says the Torah, he used to scream, stay away from me, stay away from me. You become tamei like me, stay away from me. Says the Torah that he has to be expelled, not just out of his house, out of the city. He cannot dwell in the city. Worse than the dead man. Dead man you like to keep in the city. He has to be expelled behind the walls of the city. What kind of sickness is this? Very bad thing. This is the Haftarah. B'ezrat Hashem, we're going to read the Shabbat. 4 Metzoraim. 4 of them. They sat behind the wall of Shomron. It was a siege of Yimach Shemam, the Syrians, Aram. But they could not be in the city. The gates were closed. And they stayed behind, outside the gate. Can't be inside. Can't be inside the town. Can't be inside your house. Expelled. What is this? What kind of a sickness is this? It's the worst sickness in the world. The worst in the world. And then he has to be seen again by the Kohen. The Gemara tells us the Kohen has to check him and comes visit him. And the Kohen tells him, you better do teshuvah. If you want to go back home, if you want to go back to your house, go back inside the city. You see, this might be a permanent spot. Some people got those spots, and they had to be out of the houses forever. The Gemara, Uziyahu HaMelech, one day decided he wants to become Kohen Gadol. He said he's going to do the spices sectorate. All of a sudden, fighting with the Kohanim, they told him, listen, we know that you are the king, but you're going now to do spices. All of a sudden, he saw on his forehead white spots. White spots grabbed him, and he was living in the cemetery for years and years and years. His son Yotam became the king, could not go back home. It's a permanent job. Says the Gemara, the Kohanim used to go and tell him, listen, Your Honor, Mr. King, the king of Yehuda and Binyamin, Uziyahu HaMelech, permanent, died in the cemetery, they buried him. It's a very dangerous thing. This is worse than all the sicknesses. It's really nothing, just one little spot, white spot on someplace in the body, and that's the end of it. Cannot go back home, finished. Forever. What kind of sickness is this? This sickness can only disappear if you do teshuvah. If you do teshuvah, it's not a real sickness. You can't take antibiotics, you can't take penicillin, nothing's going to help. The way it came, the way it's going to go away. You don't give it to Shuvah, never going to go away. Forever. Tazria-Metzora, this stuff the Rabbi is going to read. You can't go back in the city forever. Finished. They have to die outside the city. This has happened in Israel. Few people had it forever. Never healed from that. Just one little spot, and you can't cut it. As a love in the Torah, it's one of the 630 mitzvot. You cannot go and make an operation. You can go to the hospital and say, listen, I need to make an operation. I want this spot away. Somebody saw a spot on him, everybody starts screaming, get away from him. And he has to show it to the Kohen, and the Kohen said, yeah, that's what it is. And as becoming pure again, the Torah tells us, Parasha tells us, it's a whole process. Even though the Kohen goes and checks it, and he said, okay, now I don't see it anymore, he cannot go back home yet. Oh, yes, the whole process is to go to the Beit HaMikdash, he has to bring sacrifices, Hasham, Chatat, has to come to Beit HaMikdash, he stays outside, it's called Shar Nikanor, the gate of Nikanor, and the whole process, how to purify him. He has to bring a sheep, and he has to bring oil, he has to bring some flour. The Torah tells you that you have to put it in front of Hashem, Bifnei Hashem. The Gemara says Bifnei Hashem, what it means is the Gemara says no, at the entrance. You cannot be inside. You cannot be inside, he has to be outside. It's after the Kohen doesn't see anymore. He's ready to be purified again. Whole process. And he has to bring oil. The Kohen has to take the oil and sprinkle the oil towards the holiest of the holiest, like on Yom Kippur. That you have to sprinkle the blood. Is to sprinkle the oil. And he has to slaughter a sheep and take from the blood, put it on his ear, put it on his thumb, put it on his toe. Then he's going to put oil over there, in the same spot. Then he's going to do the process, he's going to sacrifice, and then after 1 week, then Yom HaShmini, he comes on the 8th day, he comes to Beit HaMikdash, finally, he's pure. There's nothing for one little spot. Nothing. Comes the Gemara says, listen, this is few reasons why a person gets it. The main thing, of course, is Lashon Hara. You find in the Torah, Moshe Rabbeinu, the Torah tells us, he said something about Am Yisrael to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, put your right hand under your arm, take it out, and those white spots. Miriam spoke something against Moshe Rabbeinu. Same thing. Got some white spots. Aaron got some white spots. Aaron HaKohen got some white spots. Tzara. Says the Gemara, well, it counts for other things. Seven things the Gemara counts. Maseret Erachin, that you get those white spots.
Page 16.
Says the Gemara, too much pride, tzarut ayin, stinginess, lying, stealing. It's a list. A person gets it. How bad it is. Comes the Gemara and says, somebody that says Lashon Hara causes HaKadosh Baruch Hu to go back up to Shamayim. That's how bad it is. What did I say already? What did I say? I said some Lashon Hara about somebody. So, I said, you know what? It's worse than killing somebody. It's worse than Avodah Zarah. Hashem is going to kill the person gets sickness, and what happened? Went to a doctor, diagnosed with something that nobody should have it. And what happened? Lashon hara. Lashon hara. Why you open your mouth? What did I do already? I said about somebody something. The Gemara says, כבר צמתו דוד. מלשני בסתר ראהו אותו עצמית. כבר קרתו דוד, says the Gemara. Dead. What did you do? According to one version of the Gemara, after you said it, there's not a shiva for it. It's a whole process, says the Gemara. Says the Gemara, HaKadosh Baruch Hu washes him away. Finished. What did he do already? Wasn't Avodah Zarah. Wasn't killing somebody. Wasn't Gilui Arayot. Was. What did he do? What did he do? He said something. So what if he said something? Can you imagine? He said something about somebody, something not so nice. It's not so bad. Not so bad. He said, listen, this guy, he doesn't treat people nice. He doesn't take people, he doesn't give tzedakah. So what? Chafetz Chaim, you know how many sins you get for saying such a thing? Whole book of Chafetz Chaim. Shmirat HaLashon. Watch your tongue, watch your tongue. What is it? What is the problem? What is the real problem with this? What does Hashem want from people? So Hashem gave us a mouth, so we said something. Okay, so people make mistakes. But to say that it's worse than killing somebody, he didn't say nothing. So the guy doesn't even care about it. The guy cares. The guy doesn't even care. This guy is stingy. Okay, he said I'm stingy, so what? I'm going to lose my health because of him. Worse than kill somebody. How can it be? Lashon hara. Comes the Gemara, I want to tell you something. Gemara says, you want to know something? Says the Gemara, we came out of Egypt. So-called we tested HaKadosh Baruch Hu 10 times. Just after Moshe Rabbeinu took us out of Egypt, it was such a high level. So, before Yam Suf, after Yam Suf, the man, the Slav, says the Mishnah, you should know, at the end, 600,000 people died in the desert. This is why. It says Lashon hara. What Lashon hara? Well, the 10 spies came back and said, Eretz Yisrael is not so good, Eretz Ochelet Yoshvea, people died. It's not the best land in the world. Hashem said, no, I'm going to kill you. Says the Gemara, says the Mishnah, you know what it means? Nechtam gzar din avotin b'midbar lashon hara. Hashem said, forget about it. You're all going to die. I'm going to die. What did I say? What did I say? You said the 10 spies said Eretz Yisrael is no good, and you all said you accepted it, and you believed in it, and you said you don't go to Israel. Hashem said to kill you. Says the Gemara, why? Says the Mishnah, lashon hara. The straw that broke the camel's back, lashon hara. I says, what is it all about? Golden calf. We did the golden calf. Hashem waved it. Hashem said, okay, I'll wait. Hashem said, I'll wait, let's see if they'll behave. So, the worst thing in the world, under Sinai, we just came out of Egypt, we did the golden calf. We danced around it. We said, this is God. Hashem said, okay, to Moshe. Here, Lashon hara says the Mishnah. Forget about it. What is it Lashon hara? How can you compare Lashon hara to this? Somebody go and bow down to a statue and you say, this is my God, Hashem will forgive you. But somebody said something about somebody, Hashem will forgive you. How to believe? Well, you can explain what's behind it. How can it be? Impossible to understand this. Somebody go and knife somebody. Somebody goes and kill somebody. They said, this Lashon hara is worse. What's Lashon hara is worse? Chachamim will explain to us and tell us really what is really behind Lashon hara. What is behind it? You say about somebody something. So what do you say really? If you want to imagine it and translate it to your life, so nobody is going to go to a cemetery and talk bad about the people. I'm not talking about somebody that you know. Somebody you know, he might do it. But it's just somebody just walk to a cemetery. Somebody saw a dead person. Just died. He doesn't know it. He wants to say some bad thing. Never. What do I have to say about him? Nothing. People don't say Lashon Hara on dead people. They do Chas Shalom if they knew the person before. So, but other than that, they don't. What's have to do with dead people? So actually, when you say the Lashon Hara, you don't say it on the body of the person. You say it to his neshama. That's the problem. When you say this guy is stingy, you don't say his body is stingy. Because how come you don't say anything on the dead person? You say on his neshama. This is neshama. You say this man, what do you mean a man? What does that man mean? Man means somebody alive. Alive. How is he alive? He has inside himself. What do you know what he has inside himself? A part of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Do you know what you said? You said Lashon Hara about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's your problem in life. Says the Torah, says the Gemara, let me tell you, let me explain to you. After Le'acha Kamocha, love your brother the way you love yourself. Is it possible? Impossible. Says Rashi, you know what it means? Re'acha ve're'a avicha al ta'azov, it means love the neshama that your brother has inside him. The way you love your neshama. You can't love the body of somebody the way you love yourself. Impossible. Don't cheat yourself that you love somebody the way you love yourself. Hashem would never demand it. But Hashem does demand. He said, you see a person, don't think about his body. Think what's inside the body, his motor inside. The engine is his neshama. It's from Hashem. Hashem is inside him. ואהבת לרעך כמוך, says Rashi, רעך ורע אביך אל תעזוב של שלמה המלך. Who is your friend? Hashem. למען אחי ורע דברנו שלום בך. Hashem is your friend. Hashem is inside him. Hashem is inside you. Hashem is inside him. Look at him. You don't look at him as this is Mr. So-and-so. Look what this Mr. So-and-so has inside. And therefore you got to love him because you don't love his finger and you don't love his nose. You love his neshama. Neshama shantabit torahi. The neshama is pure. It doesn't matter what you don't like about the body. But you have to like the motor of the person. The Hashem is inside him. On the contrary, the opposite is the Lashon Hara. The Lashon Hara is not about the body, not about this mister. About this mister, who is this mister? This mister means the neshama inside that mister. So you said Lashon Hara about the neshama of that mister. That's the problem in life. And that's what the Gemara explained to us, that's what I explained to us. It says the Zohar like this, you should know a secret in our lifetime. The Gemara tells us, people are different. כשם שפרצופיהם שונים, כך דעותיהם שונות. This is a shame, you have to know faces of the person. If you know how to read faces, you can read his ideas in his head. You know what he thinks, which way he thinks. Is a track of the mind of a person. Each person has a different track in his head. Therefore Hashem made different faces, not just because to recognize. Because the Gemara says a blind person doesn't see, how does he recognize people? How does he recognize his wife, says the Gemara. The reason why Hashem made us different faces is because each of us contains inside ourselves different ideas. Says the Zohar, you know what it means? I'll tell you what it is, says the Zohar. Says the Ari, when Hashem created mankind, the ingredients that he put inside the mankind is he took from all the creatures in the world a little habits and made like a little dough and he put it inside mankind. So a person has inside himself a little sheep, a little goat, a little bull, a little cat, a little dog, a little tiger, a little lion, a little bird, a little fish. And therefore every person, says the Ari, says the Zohar, looks different. Because it depends what you have more. Some person can have more fish, he can have more birds, can have more crocodile, can have more lion, and that's how the behavior of the people are changed. Some people are very quiet, and some people are very wild. So what's the difference? No, his ADD, give him medicine. Give him that thing, take him to psychiatrist. You don't understand. It's not that. How come he's like this, and his brother is the opposite? How come his sister is like this? How come the cousin is the opposite? Because everyone in the world, not everyone in the world, it's major. It's hard to say how many like this, how many like that. But that's the reason why people are different. That's the reason why their faces are different. And you can see on the face of the person, if you know how to read faces, you see that person has more horse in his face. That person has more line in his face. You can see. You don't have to go to the Bronx Zoo. But you can see. That's the reason people are different, says Darwin. The person has to work on himself, he knows. He knows, I have too much fire inside me. What is this? Where you get it? What is this? Which animal? What animal is this? There's a secret how to fix certain things without medicine. One of the reasons the Gemara says, the reason why HaKadosh Baruch Hu created so many fruits and vegetables and all these little bushes and trees, because every bush, every tree, every fruit, every vegetable is parallel to a creature. The Gemara says, some trees can give fruit this, quick, slow, that shape is compared to certain animals. That's the secret of creation. So comes the Torah and tells you, I want to explain to you something. So Hashem took Adam HaRishon to Gan Eden, and that's the Torah tells you the secret. Adam HaRishon was able to call names to all the creatures. He looked at them and says, you Mr. Donkey. So, what do you mean? I said, I have a little donkey inside me, and the little donkey inside me I can recognize by looking at this creature. There's a donkey. That's the secret. That he named all the creatures in the world. It's not that somebody decided to make names. That this creature is called crocodile, and this is a snake, and it's not. No. It's not because you decided, and I mean anymore, this is the name. Because Adam HaRishon looked at himself and said, aha, that part inside me, I can detect this is the animal, that I have a small part of the animal inside me. That's the secret of the names of all the animals. And here comes the Torah and tells us, you know, told Adam HaRishon, don't eat. Comes the Gemara and tells us, you know what happened? I'll tell you what happened. The snake came to Chava. And the snake told Chava, you know, God is afraid of you people. God created this world because he ate from this tree. And every professional hates his colleagues. And God told you don't eat because he's afraid of you. Lashon hara about the Kadosh Baruch Hu. That's how the whole downfall of this world started. From Lashon hara on Hashem. And then the Torah continues. Well, you know what happened? He pushed her, he touched her, and she ate, and she gave mankind, and we're still here in Queens because of it. Because the Lashon hara. On Hashem. Lashon hara on Hashem. As the Gemara says, you know, Atid Lavo, Kulam Mitrapim. Mashiach will come, Rabbi Amen. Says the Gemara, all the creatures, everybody will be healed. Everything. People, creatures, everything. Besides the snake. Forever. Afar tochal kol yemei chayecha, says the Gaon Mevilna, kol yemei chayecha. Navi limot HaMashiach. The Mashiach will come also, the snake will eat sand. Never gonna get killed. He said, what's the problem? Said something against Hashem. There's no kapara. That's the Gemara says the secret Lashon hara. Lashon Hara is nothing. But you said against Hashem. That's the problem. You know what? It's not you. The little snake that you have inside you, he speaks Lashon Hara. Like you have a little lion inside you, little sheep inside you, little goat inside you, little chicken inside you. You have a little fish inside you. You have a little snake inside you. He speaks the Lashon Hara. He spoke against Hashem, and you speak against Hashem too. Because when you speak against a person, you don't speak against the person. You speak against the person's neshama. That's Hashem. That's the problem in life. That's what Hashem said. There's wars. Wars in Avodah Zarah. Of course it was in Avodah Zarah. You just say, this is my God. Lashon Hara means you spit in Hashem's face and you tell Hashem, you're not good. When you say Lashon Hara about the person, you say, Hashem, you're not good. Because if the neshama will not be inside, even the person is going to be dead. You don't speak Lashon Hara about dead people. Only because this person is alive. He's here. And I got to say something about him. About what? About his neshama. It's about Hashem. The snake speaks again. That's what Hashem said. As the Gemara says, Hashem said, I cannot dwell together with you. Because of you, I go back to Shamayim. The same thing happened in Gan Eden. Hashem went up to Shamayim, one level. I said, that's the whole secret. The Gemara says, Lashon Hara, Lashon Hara. Disturb the world, all the sicknesses, all the trouble that you have, is because, what did I do? You said something bad against the Lord. And the Torah tells you this. You know, we came out of Egypt, Baruch Hashem came out of Egypt, You know why I came out of Egypt? The Gemara says, B'zchut arba dvarim. It says one of the things we didn't say any Lashon Hara in Egypt. You would have said one Lashon Hara would not have come out of Egypt. You know why we got out of Egypt? Because Yosef said Lashon Hara. So with all the respect, of course, Yosef is in the coffin, and because of Yosef, Yam Suf will split. Yes, you know why? Because Joseph is the cause of God. We got down to Egypt. Vayave Yosef dibatam ra elav yihem. This is the whole downfall that we ended up in Egypt because of Lashon Hara. Not Lashon Hara. Yosef has it inside. This is how you get it. From the snake. We got it inside from the snake. The snake touched Chava. It's even worse. There's a little snake inside Chava now. And then it got inside Naama, Noach's wife. And got into Ham. And got to the whole world. Cain is a snake. Esav is a snake. Power is a snake. Avimelech is a snake. Amalek is a snake. Haman is a snake. Endless. It says, this is a snake because you said Lashon Hara, you give energy to the snake. That's the secret. Why Torah says, look, Torah says, look what happened. This guy that has tzara is from Lashon Hara. Lashon Hara means pride, says the Gemara. Too much pride. Says the snake, Hashem chopped his feet off. What the chopped feet has to do with he talking to Chava? Chop his tongue. Why Hashem chopped his feet? Because that comes from pride. Therefore, Torah will tell you the process how to purify. A person with Metzora, you have to pour some oil on his head. You have to put some oil on his ear, on his toe, on his thumb. These are the places. The Yetzer Hara is there, a little snake inside. Those are the three places that Yaakov Avinu told Rachel, touched me when we come home after the wedding. To control the little snake. And that is what the Torah tells you. Listen, if you want to purify, you have to stay outside, stay outside. This is Hashem threw mankind out of Gan Eden. Because now he has the snake inside him. Hashem said, I cannot dwell next to you. Get away from here. Because I cannot be next to you. Because of you, the Shekhinah went up. Because of you, the Gemara says, David HaMelech accepted Lashon Hara from Tziva. From Tziva. What happened? And all of a sudden, come Rechavam and this, talks to Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael said, Ish lo alecha Israel, we don't want Rechava, we don't want the Mashiach, we don't want Hamikdash. And what happened? Says the Gemara, you know what? David HaMelech ran away from Avshalom, and then somebody came to David and said Lashon Hara about Ishboshet, Mephibosheth, and then David accepted, and he said, you know what, go split. Hashem said, go split what? Split the field. Hashem said, you expect Lashon Hara David. No more kingdom of David HaMelech. Finish. Lashon Hara. The whole thing is Lashon Hara. Stealing in exile, Lashon Hara. It's not Lashon Hara. You talk against Hashem. That's the problem. That's what the Torah tells you. The person is considered dead. But because he has one little spot. No, you don't understand. He spoke against HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He's dead. He's dead. The depth that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Adam HaRishon, don't eat from the tree, because that's what Hashem meant. You're going to eat, you know why? Because soon, I tell you, I see what you don't see. I see the snake is going to come to your wife, and he's going to say Lashon Hara, and she's going to accept it. And she's going to eat from the tree, because this snake will convince her that I'm no good, and I'm afraid of you. Comes the Torah and says, look what happened. The Torah, you know, we sent the Eretz Israel 12 spies. 10 came back, and they said the land is not good. And the land is not good? No. They said the land does not grow the right material. What do you mean? Who gives the energy to earth to grow? Hashem. They said against Hashem. That's what the Gemara says. He didn't say Lashon Hara about the land. You can say Lashon Hara about the ceiling. You can't. Because when you say Lashon Hara about the ceiling, you say, why the ceiling is holding? Because in every item, in every creature, there is a Elokut, there is a Hashem inside. And when you say something about something, it means you say it against Hashem. That's the problem. So when the spies came back and said, the land is no good, Eretz ochelet yoshvea, the land swallows the people that live over there, whoever dwells over there. You know what you said? Land swallows. So how can land swallow? I mean, the energy of the land? What's the energy? Who is the energy? It's Hashem. You said Hashem is not good. You brought fruits, and you say, look at the fruits, very strange. How does the fruit grow? Oh, Hashem. So Gemara says, on every fruit there's an angel upstairs. It tells the fruit grow. So you say the fruit is no good. The fruit is no good. What do you mean the fruit is no good? The inside the fruit is no good? And it says, how does that fruit grow? It's an energy. You say the energy is no good. Who is the energy? Hashem. You said Hashem is no good. That's what Gemara says. As long as you complain against the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem will waive it. He said, this is why we came out of Egypt. He said, this is my God. But when you say about energy no good, it means you talk about Hashem. Finished. The straw that broke the camel's back. Zion the desert. What happened? The man got sick. Lashon Hara. Too much pride. Stingy. All these things show that you're against Hashem. Shuat Sheker, says the Gemara. You swear for nothing. Sarat, one little spot. One little white spot. You finished because you're against Hashem. That's the problem in life. If you're not against Hashem, do teshuvah. Kohen could come to a person and says, do teshuvah, you have a white spot. Not teshuvah. Uziyahu HaMelech. He wants to be Kohen. I said, mister, you're the king. What's wrong with you? No, I want to do Ketoret. Do teshuvah. Don't want to do teshuvah. He doesn't want to do teshuvah. Dies in the cemetery. He lived in the cemetery. A king lived in the cemetery all his life. He cannot live inside the city. He got the sickness. Mechutz lamachane moshavo, says Torah. Expel him out of town. What does it mean? He cannot be in town. Hashem doesn't want to live with him, doesn't want to dwell with him, out of town. Can't be in your house. Out of town. That's the whole Haftarah. Rabbi Metzora Gehazi. Gehazi the Gemara. Elisha assistant. Desire for money, says the Gemara. Desire for money. Lies. Swears. Finished. All his life, finished. One day this party finished. Scary, says the Gemara. Scary. Person is healthy, everything is healthy, finish with his life. Tameh, tameh ikra, but stay away from me. You touch me, you become tameh. You stand under the tree with me, you become tameh. The wind blows. Rish Lakish says the Gemara, stay away. The wind blows. The wind blows, you become tameh from me. It's going to go inside you. So what is it? Contagious here. What is contagious? It's contagious. Says the Gemara. You have to learn Gemara, the Gemara says. You have to do mitzvot. This is in order for you to have a kapara, so-called, you spoke against the Kadosh Baruch. Let's say the Gemara says, look what happened. Look what happened. 10 big spies. 10 Rabbanim came back, and they said the land is not good. Yeah, it's okay. They said, Chazak hu mimenu. They said, you know what? Somebody stronger than God. Are you for real? Does anybody believe that somebody is stronger than God? We're talking about 10 giants, 10 rabbis. They were sent by Moshe Rabbeinu. Hashem told Moshe, send this rabbi to go to Eretz Yisrael, to come back. They said, the land is not good. You want to know something? You know what it means? It's somebody, the owner of the house, come to the house. He wants to take something, his wallet. He can't take his wallet. Somebody else holding back his wallet. Says the Gemara, you know what? Those 10 rabbis, that's what they say. Hashem cannot deliver what he promised. How can you say such a thing? No, how can I say something? Very easy, I'll tell you why. Because I heard it from the snake. The snake told to Chava, God is afraid of you. Because if you're going to eat from the tree, you're going to be like God. You'll be strong. So you have a little snake inside you. Don't be surprised. Hem bigdoshav lo yamin, said Yom. Hashem does not trust a person till the last moment. Soon, he became conservative rabbi. What do you mean conservative? Yochanan Kohen Gadol, 8 years Kohen Gadol goes inside the holiest of the holiest, comes out alive. Year 81, it says, I'm joining the conservative movement. You? Yochanan Kohen, who was your father? Shimon HaTzadik. What? You don't understand. You got a little snake inside you. That snake is against Hashem. You against Hashem. Says the Gemara, Hashem, says the Yov, Hashem doesn't trust the tzaddikim. Hem bigdoshav lo yamin. You don't know what animal you have inside you. You don't know what can happen to you. You can be the biggest rabbi. You go to Eretz Yisrael. You come back. You said the land is not good, and God is not strong. What? You're the rabbi that I knew before? What happened to you? You can't trust yourself. You can't trust yourself. Says the Gemara, you can't stop learning for a second. Says the Gemara. You want to prevent that Lashon Hara business? You know if you said Lashon Hara means? It means the snake said something from your mouth. It's not you. There's a little snake inside you. Hashem's going to kill you. It's going to kill me. Why? Because Hashem said, whoever said Lashon Hara is going to kill. Why Hashem said it? Because you speak against me. That's why I kill you. And worse than killing somebody. Worse than the Gavot. Worse than Giluy. That's the Gemara. That's the secret of Lashon Hara. That's how careful a person has to be. Not to say anything. Because you don't say against this person, you say against Hashem. That's the problem in life. You got to control your mouth, not to say, Ma'u munato shel adam ba'olam hazeh yasim atzmo ilem. Says the Gemara, you know what your job is? Goes to the Mekubalim. Hey, what my job, what my tikkun? No job, no tikkun. No question. Close your mouth. That's your job. That's it. That's the Gemara says. Close your mouth. This is why? Because if you're going to speak one word, the snake will speak. The snake will speak. Soon you're going to say, God is no God. This is what happened. You went to yeshiva. You went to school. Such good family. Such good heritage. Roots. What happened to you? Nothing happened. The snake speaks from his heart. That's the problem. That's the Gemara says. this Chachamim says, Sfirat HaOmer says, Ari, Yimei Adin Berachamim, it says, the whole Sfirat HaOmer is, watch our mouth, clean our system from the bad little creatures that we have inside ourselves, to control our bad habits. This preparation for Shavuot. Let's take a moment. We got to Shavuot. Hashem healed everybody. He says, why Hashem? Because Lev Echad, Ish Echad, Lev Echad. He says, no Lashon Hara. You say one Lashon Hara, you waste your time in Sfirat HaOmer. You waste your time preparing yourself for Shavuot. He says, you got to get rid of all the little creatures that we have inside ourselves. Wow.